I can't believe I'm saying this, but there is actually some great news from this government. It's actually, believe it or not, a no-brainer from Angela Rayner. She's just making it easier for small developers like you and me. That's all coming up, but if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon. We put out plenty of videos each and every week, all dedicated to keeping you on top of your property investing game. So what is this no-brainer from Angela Rayner? Everything else she says has been completely crazy, but this one thing that she's announced has perked my interest. Now, the planning system, as we know, is a complete dog's breakfast, completely unfit for purpose. Now, as an aside, the whole planning system was brought in under the Clement Attlee government in 1948. And I find it very strange that when you look at buildings built before 1948 and some of our Victorian cities and Regency buildings that we've got in towns and cities up and down the country, which were all built without any planning system in place at all, it's all beautiful. And those are buildings that we still want to preserve today. But anyway, they brought in this Town and County Planning Act in 1948, and it's got messier and snarled things up with more and more red tape ever since. And one of the strange things is that whether you want to build 3 new houses or 300 new houses, you're governed by the exactly same system. But not anymore, thanks to Angela Rayner. What she has recognised is that schemes of up to 9 developments should be governed by different rules to that governing larger schemes. Now, all this from Angela Rayner, it makes perfect sense. Let's hope this continues in other areas of policy. It makes perfect sense. Now, in the 1970s, let me share some stats with you. In the 1970s, small, medium-sized developers accounted for nearly half of all the new dwellings created, all the new dwellings created in the UK. Today, it's not even 12%. And the reason for that is because small, medium developers cannot fund uncertainty. If I'm buying a small field and I'm looking to build 4 houses in that field, then am I going to get planning? Am I not going to get planning? I can't fund that level of uncertainty. Now, if I'm a big developer, Barratt Homes or whoever, and I've got these fields and I'm building 3,000 homes or whatever, then I've got a pipeline of projects, I've got lots of stuff going on, I've got big teams that I can deploy in getting this planning permission approved, and you go through the mill and you can afford to have these projects going through these 3-4 year planning processes. But small developers can't do that. So small developers tend not to bother with those sorts of sites. And then who does bother with those sites? Because Barratt Homes ain't going to get out of bed to build 3 houses on a small plot. It's just too small for them. So what tends to happen is the larger developers dominate the game, and they like greenbelt land, fields where they can go in fresh and build hundreds of homes new from scratch. But then you get these brownfield sites or infill plots which are too small for them to do, but of course too complicated with planning for the small developer to get involved in. So what does this exactly mean? What Angela is proposing is that for under 9 sites, there is no vagaries of subjective planning. So, you know, a scheme that you put forward can be taken to a local planning committee where a bunch of councillors get involved and put their boot in, and neighbours protest and all this sort of flannel. What they're saying is for under 9 units, you've got rules. There is a national planning policy framework, and each area has a local plan, a local development plan. So you've got the rules, you've got the national rules, and you've got the local development plan in place. So a planning professional should be able to say, well, okay, this is what the developer wants to do. These are the rules. Does it match? Yes, no. If it does, tick, tick, tick. And what that means for the developer is you can buy a site, you can get a planning consultant in, and you know for certainty that if your scheme ticks all the boxes, ticks all the written down stated planning rules, there's not going to be any subjectivity brought into the game from councillors sticking their boot in. So this is great news. This is great news for small, medium-sized developers. We are good to go on projects which involve under 9 units. I mean, one of the reasons why so many developers have gone for permitted development is that it gives you certainty. You have this checklist system before you apply for permission. You know, you can buy a building like we're in this office building, we're converting to 17 flats. It hasn't been done under planning permission, it's been done under permitted development, a prior approval. It's a checklist, basically. As long as you know that your development and your proposed scheme meets all the criteria, you know for certain that you're going to get the permission. So this, in a way, is a sort of PD, but for new properties, for new dwellings, for sort of building new houses on plots, also converting older buildings like large houses into multiple flats, that kind of thing, provided you meet the checklist of rules in the National Planning Policy Framework and also in the Local Development Plan. It ticks all the boxes, you'll be good to go for under 9 units. Great news. May we have more sensible and common sense policies from this government. Let me know what you think. Is it going to change your game? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you follow for more videos as we keep you up to date on how to stay on top of your property investing game. Bye for now.